Hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Friday. What's going on out there in YouTube community land? So let's see who we've got here. I know a lot of people were really excited to see Melody tonight, and I don't blame you. Melody is amazing. If you guys have not been watching her channel, we need to talk because this woman has grown gardens that could feed small countries. So, I mean, I can't believe that she is still harvesting stuff. Hey, Broke Cowgirl. Hey, Daz, my Aussie Garden and Kitchen. Lisa Kalovi, I'm going to put you in timeout because you're the best ever, but I want you to go enjoy your evening. So appreciate you. Hey, KK at the Vineyard Chicks. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Tina Ladybug, how are you? Glad to see you. Hello, Leanne at the Mennonite Farmhouse. Hi, Nancy at our treasured home. Love seeing all our peeps in here. Hey, Grafted Branch Homestead, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Hope the quail are doing good. Hey, Barb's Country Home. Broke Cowgirl said she's still picking peas and tomatoes almost daily. Rub it in, Gwen. Rub it in. No, that's really awesome for you. I really think it's great. Hey, Outdoors with Big Matt. Welcome in. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll give it a second for everybody to come in. Did everybody have a good week? Thanks, Grafted Branch. We're excited to have you here. So yeah, I hope everybody had a great week. We've got a big celebrity on tonight. We've got Melody at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. She recently accomplished what we all set out to accomplish, whether we like to admit it or not. And I think this is huge and it's a big accomplishment. And I think a lot of people don't realize the work that goes into it. Melody puts out videos, I think about 6 days a week. And she's busting it in the middle of harvesting her garden and everything else. It's like a small farm over there. So I think without further ado, I'm going to bring Melody up here because she's just the bomb. And so I'm so excited she's going to be here. Hey, Lori's World. Welcome in. Hi, Miss Melody.
Hello, Miss Lisa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
How
Thank you for having me. This is like an honor to be with my girl, Lisa.
We're happy to have you here. Melody, you're just awesome. I mean, I've been watching your channel for a while and I used to pop in and out here and there. And then I started steadily watching you and I just cannot believe the gardens that you have grown this year. Like, are you shocked or is that a normal thing for you?
I mean, I've grown a lot. I've been a gardener for a long time, but this was a very prolific and abundant year, let me tell you. I'm exhausted.
I bet. Still canning too.
Yes. You know, when you pull in the amount of food that I'm pulling in, it's a lot of work to, get it processed, how you're going to preserve it, I mean, how many peppers can one person have? So it's like a gazillion million frozen in the freezer. And I've given so many things away. I've donated a lot to, it's sort of like a pantry kitchen up the street here.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing that because that's so important,
Yeah.
I just want to go back to the chat for a minute. I see Klingon Princess is here. Hello, welcome in. Modest Moongazer. Carla at Living a Rogue Life is here. Hello, Carla. And Barb's Country Home says, and she does it all on her own.
That is it's backbreaking, but I do it on my own.
Yeah, you do. So I've been trying to think how to ask you questions, right? Because you're a different homesteader right now than us because of the animals. But here's the thing. I'm looking at your gardens and I'm thinking to myself, you could feed your entire state of Pennsylvania.
I don't know about all that, but I could feed a lot of people.
Yeah, I think you could.
Definitely a lot of people. And then to be
Hayseed
on
Faith.
Shed Wars this year, it's like, what was the coincidence of that? Get picked to go on Shed Wars, and an amazing gardening year. It's been hectic. It's been backbreaking, but I feel like, when I put my beds in, it was very, very hard. I did it alone. The
Wow.
story behind my garden is I moved here, and a friend of mine, when I moved here, had said, I got a surprise Christmas gift for you, and he bought me 8 raised beds. And
Wow.
the soil, I had to find it from a farm, so forth and so on. I had the most amount of gardener's anxiety because it was everything that I wasn't used to. New soil from my place, it was like black gold, so I was scared of that. There was no one around to help me design the garden or put the beds in. You got to make them level. Oh, it's just, I hurt in places I never thought I could hurt before. And I'm a mama of 3, honey. So, with that being said, I feel like God above was just like, with everything that's sad that's going on in the world today, I do feel like, I've had my fair share of troubles this gardening season, but I also feel like God was looking out for me, and was just like, you did all this, so voila, think
Yeah.
I had a little help from up above on that one.
Total blessings, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Hayseed Faith Homestead. Hey there. Halbert Farms is here, which is Rebecca, who is on for our Veterans Day edition. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
So Carla had a question for you. Did you have any more problems with the neighbor after the fence?
I did. I had one more incident, but I kind of feel like, well, I don't kind of feel like, I was all the way in the back to where we put up that sort of kind of Hawaiian privacy fence. And I was bent down picking some cucumbers going into fall. And I guess she didn't see me. And she went after my dogs. And I just popped my head up like whack-a-mole, like, really, come on now.
Right.
I'm mean to your dog. I didn't try to grab sticks and hit your dog. Back off. And I did it as polite as possible. I put up with certain things from her for an amount of time. It's not just kids to get bullied.
Right.
This may sound really silly, but I did not want a confrontation with the woman. Reason being is because I didn't want to inflict that on my roommate. I'm friendly to everyone. My roommate was dumbfounded because she came off like she was very friendly, was asking me for seeds, things of that nature. And it was just unfortunate that finally that day, I had to just serve her bleep on a silver platter. And she's literally left me alone since then because I ate it, I chewed it, I swallowed it, I put up with it. And we're all human beings.
Right.
I truly believe in God, but you can only push a woman so far. And I'm a redhead. And that was it for me. I had to tell her off, tell her to kiss my what where the sun don't shine, and back off because she's barking up the wrong tree. So since then, all's been well on trying to be homestead over here. So, but yeah, that was it. So everything's been kosher, copacetic, and I like it that way.
Yeah, I concur. That's the way I like it. I'm a firm believer in, and my mom used to say this saying, but I'm a firm believer in fences make good neighbors. And
I heard that one before. It's weird though too, because the other neighbor on the other side has a privacy fence against her too. So I think there's something going on there, But nonetheless, I like people. I'm a social butterfly. I'm friends with everyone. And I just thought, wow, this is going to be great. She seemed friendly, da 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 da. And yeah, not so much. So everything else is going well now that situation's over and done with. And I had 0 time or patience. We're all human. We're all not perfect. And, after the last incident, and I had to say a few choice words to her, she's left me alone. And I'm grateful for that because, I was a single mother. I raised 3 children alone by myself, and I was the grizzly bear type of mom. But yes, my kids were not perfect, but my kids knew better from the time they were 3 years old. Respect matters. If you do something, don't come to me. Tell me so and so's mom or dad did such and such, unless you tell me what you did. Because if
Right.
I go over there to defend you and you make me look like a fool, you're going to be in big trouble. You know. So
So true.
they knew to always come to me and tell me whatever was going on. You know. So I like to feel as if I've changed a lot over the years. I'm very level-headed, and I do not like drama at all. I don't want to be involved in it, you know. So I'm glad that that's done and that's behind me. And yeah, I think a lot had to do with the factor too that she was a gardener in like a little playhouse type of thing, and maybe she felt like she was the gardener of the Riverside community. I don't know. And then I didn't realize when I first met her and was becoming a little friendly, you know, you always have to be very careful when you meet someone. Sometimes you might think you're quick picking up things. Usually I am. But some things didn't hit me till later where I was like, oh, she was like, oh, why do you have to have such a big garden? Or, oh, I'm not trying to feed my whole family. You know, just little digs like that that I didn't catch on to right away. And, you know, now look at the world. Who's got the
Yeah.
last laugh now? Because
Yeah.
I know deep down inside I can provide for me, my roommate, and my entire family.
Yep.
Nobody knew this was going to happen, you know? So, you know, that's
Absolutely. Absolutely, Melody. I couldn't agree more. And Carla was saying something about mess with my animals. It's a fierce mama bear. And I'm the same way when it comes to my chickens and stuff. Like, you know, I've got a dog. I keep it on my property. I don't have it run off, you know, and I'm a firm believer in that stuff. And Carla said, good for you. Glad you drew the line in the sand.
absolutely. Thank you, Carla. Because you know what? You have to draw a line in the sand. If not, you know, people will just take advantage. You know, don't take my kindness for weakness by no means, you know?
Yep. I agree. Beam me up. Mr. Scott is here. Hello.
Hello.
Blue Farm is here. Hey
How
guys, what's
are
up?
you? How are you?
Annette at the Cow Emporium said, well, what did I walk into? Happy
The
Friday.
first
Hello.
question. That's what she walked into, the very first question of the interview. Carla's question, actually.
Moon over Miami is here. Hello, welcome in. RV Weekends, welcome in.
Hello, RV Weekends.
And beam me up. Mr. Scott is fired up tonight, he said. Or
Yay.
she.
Woo.
And your favorite person is here.
Hello, Boone Child. I
She's
love her.
awesome.
I think we're like sisters from a different mother.
I love her. I think she's just got great content.
I have to tell you a very quick story, whether she likes it or not. But here you go, Boone. I'm putting you on blast because I just love you dearly. So we were yip yapping on the phone, maybe the beginning of the week, something or whatever. All the days blend into each other. And I was talking about Simple Living Alaska. In case you don't know, I adore that channel, you know.
Yep.
Something came up about coffee, and, you know, we got into that conversation. And I said, yeah, Simple Living Alaska keeps bragging about this coffee. So we both tried to research what the coffee was. I couldn't find it right away. Boone was looking. She couldn't find it right away. Bingo, I find it. And shoot, she's probably going to have to write the name down in the comments because I can't see comments. But needless to say,
Tim Hortons, wasn't it?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I watch your videos, see?
Yeah, see that? Thank you, because my mind's a little gone sometimes. I feel like I have vegetable mush brain right now. But anyway, so yeah, I was like, you should get it, you should try it, so forth and so on. And then in my shout out, as you can all very well see, no note, no letter, no nothing. And she sends me a bag of Tim Hortons. We were texting back and forth. She's like, well, I figured you would guess. And we just thought it was funny. And her bag wasn't coming till Thursday. She's like, did you try it? I'm like, nope, waiting for you. So we tried the coffee together via text messaging.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So awfully sweet of her. She's a very, very dear friend to me. Like I said, like a sister from a different mother. And, you know, she did get me my pressure canner. I just have to grow some little kahunas to actually do it. But the coffee was amazing. And it was even more fun to do it with her. Like I could have very well dialed her number Instead, we just texted it and tried it together. I was like, what do you think? I'm like, oh, I love it. She loves it. I love it. And I was like, she's too kind, too generous, but she's like that. She always likes to pay it forward. She's one of the kindest, sweetest women I've ever known. She does, the Red Friday. If you don't
Yep.
know her, go check her out. For the
Yep.
service women and men, deployed or the ones that didn't come home. I just have the utmost respect for her.
Yeah, I like her. She seems like a really nice lady. I don't know her to the extent that you do, but I have to say that I remember when I first jumped on your channel, one of your lives, she that was the first thing I heard you talking about was Voon.
Yeah. Because you know what it was? I had Lauren N in the very beginning of this journey of YouTube. Lauren N was a young girl. I think she's just maybe living life, and she has a really big farm. So we kind of haven't seen her. No one really has. And, then like Boone was there from the beginning, and she was my moderator, confidant, a very good friend. And I look at her literally like a sister now. And I just so happened to get fortunate in, when I was going into all the really big channels, it was like I was always bumping into Paul Honeyman. And I was like, what are you, too good? And he's like, I'll be over, girl. So he's a moderator. And
Yep.
you know what he's about. He's a very fresh but funny kind of person.
Yep.
So I'm fortunate. And then, Voon had a couple things that she had to deal with, and, or get her daughter up for school the one day. So he was there. He just wrote me a long text like, why would I stick it to Voon? Because I said, well, maybe he's sticking it to Voon, like as in a joke. And, but no, he just needed the night off. And, so they're great moderators to have. It's a lot of fun. And then, yourself, it can get crazy busy. You've helped me out with moderating on my channel as well on a Sunday night. If Voon wasn't there or Paul wasn't there, or even if Paul was there, you were dropping links. So greatly appreciated. But yeah, she's a sweetheart, like I said.
She's awesome. She's awesome. Hey, Q Kitchen and Beyond. Hello, Rochelle Brampton Gardner. Yes, I'm flying, Rochelle. Hello, Modest Moongazer. Cow Emporium loves my background. Thank you. It was actually a beautiful picture of Crazy Horse, but it only showed the top part, so that's why you're getting sky. Hey, Arizona Highland Homestead. Tommy Pastime 84. I think I got everybody.
Whoa.
Whoa, are you taking off on me?
No, I think my tripod wanted to be down below and not up where it belongs. Craziness.
So how long you been on YouTube?
I actually just passed my 2-year anniversary. I started the end of July 2 years ago.
Great job, Melody. Great job.
You still make me cry. Thank you, honey. I appreciate all the support. You're a wonderful woman, and I love you.
You've been busting butt for a long time.
That I have. That I will own up to. I've been busting my hump, and I used to do videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, go live on Sundays. I'll never forget my first live. I was like, I don't really want to do it. I'm too nervous. No one's going to show up, and people actually showed up. But in the beginning of the journey, and a lot of my regular subscribers know this story. When Jason Crocker was with his wife, we used to chit chat, and some things came up about YouTube, how I should do it, and I'm like, I don't know. And it was like, everybody starts at zero. You should just jump off the cliff. So, I was your typical person that felt like I was talking to myself, holding my phone straight up and down, talking about gardening, that type of thing, making all those mistakes that everybody makes. And I jumped, literally. And, I did my first live. People actually showed up, and I just been, doing it since then. I even moved around due to the situation, of losing my home and whatnot, and was still managing to put out videos. But once I went 6 days a week, with videos and whatnot, with some, serious content, I see people, that just my opinion from the outside looking in before I was moderated, it was just like, how are they moderated? And they only have like 30 videos. I used to think stuff like that, or like, or no real like content. So for me, it's just about, gardening, of course, teaching people how to grow food has just been a huge thing to me, even before what has transpired in this world. And cooking and baking and, bringing people along. It's not that I'm a prepper, Lise, by no means, but, I always was a stockpile person myself. Um, when this terrible thing had happened, which y'all know what I'm talking about, terrible
Cinnamon
year.
vanilla.
Huh?
We call it cinnamon vanilla.
Cinnamon vanilla. I just call it the worst year ever of 2020. And it was like I wasn't out of anything. I didn't run out of anything. It was like I was good, and that's because I've always been prepared. Now I can't say so much that for my daughter. I try, but needless to say, when things started to get really bad in 2020, it's just who I am. I thought to myself, oh my Lord, there's so many people out there that don't even know how to make a basic loaf of white bread. And I instantly was on like that night, like a 13-year-old can make this. Anybody can do this. I made it as simple as possible because that's just who I am. I just wanted to help.
Yep.
And I just feel with the new garden, the move's been crazy. I kind of just said to my roommate, oh, I should just rent a U-Haul and just get the rest of it all out and just deal with it over the wintertime, because
Yep.
it's so hard. I built a garden first before I actually had moved in.
Wow.
And if I had to be honest about it, I said to my roommate, I think I made a huge mistake. I should have never built that garden first. I should have moved in first because all it's done was overwhelming. So needless to say, I just wear my heart on my sleeve, and I've been really missing doing like cooking videos and baking videos. And you all saw what my roommate got me for Christmas. I didn't know it was going to be for Christmas, but I was going to buy it for myself. It's like, send me the link. Now I'm just trying to organize the kitchen so that I can actually get the island in there. And I'm excited because I think I can have the camera this way and actually be like, oh, I have somewhere to roll on, instead of like, you have no idea. My roommate, God bless his soul, who never even liked a tomato. And I'm like, wait, what? You have like the tomato pepper queen living in here. Like, what do you mean you don't like tomatoes? And he's like, I just never liked them. I said, I guarantee you by the time I'm done, you'll like a tomato. I think grocery store tomatoes are such a letdown. They're so disappointing.
Yeah.
And Jimmy eats tomatoes. He's tried so many things he's never had before. And that was all due to me. And I'm talking from day one because I've known Jimmy's family a long time. And Jimmy needed some help and wanted me to move here. And he, like, literally maybe 5 hours later after I moved in, you're going to do a garden, aren't you, Mel? I'm like, huh? What? Like, that was the furthest thing from my mind. The next day, like a full 24 hours, he's like, Mel, you're going to do a garden, right? I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing a garden. And that's how that garden became. He got his friend that used to be the landscaper here to till the ground. And that took me an additional 2 weeks to try to break through it. It was just a lot of work, a lot of work. And to be honest with you, let's keep it real here because it's just who I am. If I had to do it all over again and build that garden, would I do it? No. Do I love the garden? I absolutely do.
Okay.
But I mean, I have experience now on how to build that type of garden. I had to put my thinking cap on, and you can't rely on a man. I had to do it all on my own.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it was the most strenuous, hardest thing I've ever done. And I gave birth with no drugs. So I mean, you do the math on that one. So it was very hard. I pretty much really doubted myself. Are they going to be level? Or are they going to be straight? This, that, and the third. And Lord behold, it all turned out great. Would I want to do it again? No. Just because I'm tired. That's what I'm getting at. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. But if anybody wants to build a garden, I can tell you how to do it.
How did you get your channel name? Nick at Arizona Highland Homestead wants us to talk about your guest's awesome channel name.
Okay. This is how I got my channel name. When I decided to take the plunge, before I hit that record button, I was thinking, I don't want to be in a box. They always tell you to find a niche or whatever with YouTube. And I was talking to a friend of mine Because at the time I was making pies. And she's like, girl, you're kind of like all over the place. If you keep doing pies, you're going to have the pie people coming at you. And I'm like, wait, what? There's pie people on YouTube that will come after me? I was like, listen, honey, I am baker, cook, gardener. That's what I am. I don't want to be in a box, you know? And so how the channel name came to be, it's because I love to bake. I went to industrial baking school. I did go to
Wow.
culinary school, and but you know, I just feel like cooking was in the blood. I may be 100% Irish, but I don't know. I think I got a little Italian going on inside of me because I could cook a mean Italian dish. So I came up with bake a leg because when you go to YouTube to get started, it does say try to be a little comical, you know, have a sense of humor with your title. So I was like, huh. I saw break a leg and I thought, break a leg. Let me go with bake a leg. And I happened to have my grandson, Gavin Mason, over, true story. And I'm like, bake a leg, bake a leg. What else could I do with that name? Because I want to incorporate garden. And he goes, Mama, why don't you just do bake a leg and let's dig it?
That's
For the
so
digging, for the garden. And I was like, Gab, you're a genius. You're just like your mama. So back to the pie people coming after me. This person that's pretty well known over on Instagram, Terry at Organic Roots Raw Farm, I think I said that correctly, is the one that says, if you're growing, you're preserving, and you're doing things from scratch, you can put Homestead on the end of it. I said, well, I don't have animals yet. And she said, you don't need to. And it was probably like maybe 2 months or so after being on YouTube, maybe 3, where Homestead went on to the end of it.
nice.
So that's where I got my name, Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It, from Break a Leg and Let's Dig It, that has to do with the gardening. So I wanted to fit all 3 things that I absolutely love within that title and be a little funny too.
I love it. I think it's a great name.
Oh, thank you. A lot of people do compliment me. They're like, oh, I love that name. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because I almost thought about changing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great name. I think it's a great name. What would you say is your biggest pride out of your garden this year?
What is my biggest pride? Oh, Leash, you're going to give me all these hard questions? Okay.
Come on, girl. You can pick one. You got a lot.
What is my biggest pride? I would have to say probably, remember I said in the beginning I had that lack of confidence.
Yep.
I was feeling like it was a lack of confidence when it was actually gardener's anxiety. New home, new this, new garden, new dirt, you know? And I had to dig down deep and snap myself out of it and say, Melody, you've been gardening forever. You got this, girl. So I would have to probably say me first and foremost, to yank myself out of that worrying thing that I was doing constantly, you know?
Yep.
And putting my brain to action to know, besides the soil, my soil has no animal compost in it. Horticultural, did I say that correctly?
Yep.
Where it's just leaves, sticks, broken down trees, so forth and so on. And then I knew that it was going to have to be amended. I went with a raised bed type of soil that has alfalfa, so forth and so on. And I think what really woke me up was spring. Because you figure I got the beds for a Christmas gift. We were putting them together in January. And needless to say, I think I started at the end of February, beginning of March, building the garden. When my butter crunch lettuce heads came out this big at the beginning of spring, there it was. I knew everything was going to be just okay. The only problem was I was running out of space. And I was like, oh, I knew I should have got 2 more beds when he was offering it. So then I did some in-ground beds. So I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I learned. You know, no matter how old you are and how long you've been gardening, there's always a challenge. You can't, like Mother Nature got me really good this season, you know.
Oof.
There's a lot of obstacles you have to overcome, but you know, I'm still learning to this day, and I've been gardening for years and years and years. I used to be the girl that got picked on, like, oh, why do you garden? You know? So
You're awesome. You're awesome. I think that's a great answer. Nick was saying at Arizona Highland Homestead was like, good job. Grill her on the hard questions.
Come on at me. Give me the hard ones. I'm ready.
Nick's got to go. He said, got to go. Lisa, Melody, and Chad have a great weekend. And Lisa has less than a week of work left. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nick. Thank you for coming.
Bye. Oh, it looks like we're having a love raid from Black's Tropical Homestead. Thank you all.
Hello, Black's Tropical Homestead. Hello, hello.
They're awesome. Have you watched them?
Yeah, I've seen a few, but you saw the video I just put out today. Like, no joke. Like, I don't even have time for myself, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I quick upload a video, you know, depending on the internet here and what it wants to do, it could take a little while because I used to upload every day at like 8 a.m., you know, so I had to deal with that. But I'm just now trying. I've been looking for like a white washboard. I think that would help me. I have caught a few of their videos. I've not caught a live. Actually, I was in one live, but they didn't realize I was in there, even though I did say hello, but nothing personal. I know sometimes you can't see everybody's thing, you know?
Yeah.
So needless to say, it's been super crazy. It's still super crazy busy here. I can't even believe that next Thursday is Thanksgiving, and before you know it, we'll be in Christmas. And I'm like sitting here with, you know, Dutch ovens and like boxes, and it's just crazy. I have to unpack, but I'm hoping to have a little bit of a breather. You know, I just did a major harvest from out of the garden. So I didn't lose it before our first frost, and I had to rush to get my garlic planted. So just super nuts. I never realized that I would have that much food. And then I had to figure out what I was going to do with it all.
So I mean, what do you have left to can now? I mean, I saw your video, but I wanted you to let people know.
I mean, there's a lot. There is a lot. And like I was going to say earlier, God bless my roommate for putting up with buckets and every pot and bowl you could think of on the floor, produce all over the counter, all over the dining room table. I mean, it's been a hot mess, believe me. We also have a lot of food downstairs though now because of some things that I've canned. You know, there's still a ways to go, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I was watching your pantry tour, and it was the one where you were talking about it being a mess. And I know it's a mess to you, but it was not awful at all. But I know it's not the way you like it.
Well, which one? The good, the bad, the ugly video?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's really bad, Lisa. I mean, you see all the boxes in the middle? That's not even my other storage unit's not even out yet, you know? It's crazy.
I know, but you know, these crazy times kind of call for that. You know what I mean? And I know you'll get it organized. But one of the suggestions I made was to put like the real heavy stuff out on those great wooden shelves you have versus the lighter cabinets, because we all know those lighter cabinets, they just belly.
Well, to be honest with you, I've had those pantry closets for quite a little while. They've taken a beating and they keep on ticking. But inside that room where I was showing all the stacks of canned goods is my roommate's tool room. I kept calling it the mechanical room, but it's all the same thing. Yeah. And his dad had built these shelves in on each side. The other side's being taken up by some family members that still haven't came and collected some stuff. And the other side, I literally just stripped trash bags when I got here, laid them down and just put extra things, you know, on there. I pretty much have everything off of there. Almost everything's off of there. And now my roommate, 2 weeks later, still has not put the plastic down on the wooded shelves yet. So I also have to wait like that, you know. So he's going to do that. And then today we were out purchasing the equipment to make that closet that's being wasted in the kitchen and turn it into a pantry. So I'm like, plastic or get a new pantry closet. So we're going to go with the pantry.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, I'll get to it. I mean, the room, like that laundry room down there where I put the extra refrigerators down there, that was Jimmy's old refrigerator. I had the big one upstairs. It's like huge freezer box, my canning stuff, the refrigerator, freezer, the shelf that has the canning jars on there, but I don't have any more room to fit any more on there. So I'm sticking cases everywhere I can because I don't want to put anything in my roommate's tool room. The temperature's off. it always stays regulated to about 50 degrees down in the cellar all year long.
Yeah.
But in that particular room, when I was pulling out my root crops, I was noticing I was losing like some acorn squash. I'm like, something's wrong here, you know? But I do have a video coming out. Wait till you see what I discovered. I'll tell you now. You ready? But just make sure you like the video anyway. So down in that room where I put the 2 pantry closets, there's a door.
Okay.
And there's steps with the cellar doors that go out to the grass. So I tried an experiment. I swept down the steps. I did the concrete real good. And I'm like, let me line up my acorn squash, my spaghetti squash, my butternut squash. Let me close the door, walk away for 2 weeks, and let me come back and see how it does.
Yeah.
So I did a video on the day that I actually checked it out. Onions need to come upstairs. Your onions can't be near your potatoes. So I know that. But my onions still aren't adjusting to like 50 degrees down there.
Yep.
So long story short, I have them all on the step. Just went down the other day because it won't be tomorrow's video. It'll probably be, I'll drop it probably Sunday maybe. But anyway, everything's doing fantastic. So it gets the chance to get a little bit colder. So I think that's the prime ample spot to put all my root crops. So, and then it has a door. You could just shut it. I could open it up to try to regulate the air down there, but it stays about, I don't know if Jimmy said 50 or 55 degrees. So that's just not really ideal for all your root crops coming in from out of your garden.
Yeah.
You know, I had purple top globe turnips that were already sprouting, things like that. Like last year when I got here. So needless to say, I'm using the staircase that goes out to the grass to use as a root cellar, and it's working. So, you know, you got to do whatever you got to do to make it work, right?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I'm just fixing something here. Guys, keep in mind this is you know, families may be watching this, so please let's keep it respectful.
Oh. Something wrong?
Yeah, just some profanity we want to keep off of there because some people want to, you know what I mean? We want to keep it respectful of people. Thank you, guys. Melody, what's your favorite plant in your garden? And I apologize, we got sidetracked by that, Melody.
It's okay. My favorite plant? A vegetable plant or a flower plant? Which one are we talking about?
I don't know. Grafted Ranch Homestead said, what's your favorite plant in your garden? So you get to pick one.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go for vegetable plant. I don't know. I'm going to go with my tomatoes for my vegetable plant. And I think it's obviously going to be my sunflowers.
Oh, wow.
Because my sunflowers were absolutely gorgeous this year, 14 feet high, and they were just brought in so many pollinators, and hummingbirds is a huge thing for me. And I was quite glad to see that they followed me to here. Let's just put it that way, because, you know, that was me and my mother-in-law's favorite bird. So we lost Mom, who was my mother-in-law, to Alzheimer's dementia, and this particular tiny petite Pennsylvania hummingbird kept flying around, and just from the size of it, it just had me reminisce between the zinnias, the sunflowers, and the hummingbird. I felt like my mother-in-law was out in the garden like, girl, you got this. So
that's awesome. That's really awesome. What do you think was your nemesis in the garden this year?
Like my worst thing in the garden?
Yeah, like the one that you like really wished would have done something, but you just couldn't get it to grow or get it to go good.
Oh, I don't want to come off sounding smug, Lisa, at all. Let me really think about that. Well, I would have to say it was the cantaloupe this year. It was a different type of, I'm not a cantaloupe fan. I've grown it before, but I've grown it for, you know, my older children. They all love cantaloupe. I went with a different seed this year. I thought it came from the seed vault bag, but it didn't. I think it was just sent to me. And it was like taking them forever to do what they had to do. And then when they did, it was like they just weren't good. Like straight hole through them. As soon as it ripened, it was non-edible. So that was probably the thing that gave me the most trouble this year. Not that I cared all that much. I just felt like, oh, it would have been nice to have some cantaloupe to give to the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I love cantaloupe. Joy Bless Life was saying she likes cantaloupe too.
I can't eat it. Cantaloupe and honeydew is just not my thing.
Really?
Nope. My daughter
Oh,
keeps trying to shove it down my throat. I did try one. So last year, I guess the year before, when I was at my place, and my Jarrett was still living with me. He's now 23, and he really likes cantaloupe. I always bought cantaloupe organic. If I wasn't growing it, cut it in half, scoop seeds out, give him a bowl, like as a bowl. And he made me try my own cantaloupe one time, and I was like, "Oh Lord, please don't make me do that," because he knows I don't like it. I
right.
tried it, and I can honestly say it wasn't too bad, but I'm just still not a fan of it. Like I absolutely did not grow cantaloupe this year with any intentions of me eating it at all. And I'm
Yeah.
not a picky person. I'm not picky. I'm just particular.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Grafted Branch was saying it's their first year growing it for the family and they love it. And I think it's great. I wish that we could grow it here, but we can't. The season is just not long enough for us.
Yeah, you would
Um,
have to start that in the house early. I just
yeah.
think the cantaloupe skin, and like I said, I've grown it before, but the skin was really thin. So, I like to show the good, the bad, the ugly on my channel. Not everything's perfect in my garden. It was like, here you go, epic fail. Cantaloupe, cantaloupe like burst and seeds were everywhere, and the weather here was crazy.
It
Today
was.
is a little bit chillier here today, but no, we were just at 70 degrees the other day. I can't even make that up. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm going to have a whirlwind of trouble in that area come next year because cantaloupe seeds went everywhere. I tried to prep as much as I possibly could, but I think I'm going to be picking cantaloupe out for quite some time. And that's going to be my spot for my zucchini this year because, I planted extra zucchini, not like I grew enough, but I had to plant more for fall. And it produced a lot. It was good. But I do truly believe that the squash hornworm does live under the ground.
Yeah.
And it's not recommended because you can see the stem of the plant. So remember to rotate your zucchini, my friends.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yep.
Joy Bless Life was like maybe a big greenhouse is in my future. Well, right now my $50 Facebook marketplace greenhouse is about all I got. But
Love to have a greenhouse, but right now we're trying to get me in here, get me unpacked. Jimmy's trying to accommodate me with this pantry closet. I'm trying to help my roommate out who now has some serious health issues,
yeah.
So we're like busy, but we have to deal with the wood stove. And the first thing that's on our list is worrying about a proper home for some chickens, for some hens. I don't know if I'll get all hens, and I might have to get somebody to adopt a couple roosters. But yeah, Jimmy and I are on the same page when it comes to being self-sustainable.
Good.
That part he didn't really know a lot about. We're oil heat here. We're going to wood because of the prices, so we're making changes together as a team by just discussing, like I said on Jim, if anything was to ever happen, we could have that for heat, for light, to be able to cook too. Bingo. He went and found one. He was going to buy one new. He ended up getting one for like $100 and has to just fork out a couple hundred, to get it like installed or replace a few like heat bricks. But that is going to be our main thing right there, So we do talk about hens. I mean, I've said it. Chickens. Jimmy did offer me last spring if I wanted to get some chickens because he knows how badly I want them. And I said, no, I'm not ready to take on that responsibility.
Right.
I moved in here. I'm building a garden. I want them to have a cute little home. So Jimmy was very big for like things on his Fire Stick because I made him kill the cable when I got here. I'm like, get rid of that. That's $245 for a bunch of bull crap,
And goes up $10 every month.
Yeah, and what's the point? What's the point to be listening to all that nonsense?
Yep.
Less stress for yourself is to kill your kill your own cable bill and just keep the internet. So that's what we do. And now I find him all over YouTube. He subscribes to you, and he watches and gives it a like. He doesn't comment very often. Jimmy's a very subtle kind of guy.
Yep.
But yeah, so he's been looking up um, like chicken builds and, oh, Mel, did you know that they have to go up to roost at night? And I'm like, no, Jim, I didn't know that. I'm like, I got my whole college education. Why pay for college when I get my whole college education off of YouTube? You know? But it's just funny to see him come to me and be like, oh, this guy built a chicken coop and he's got the blueprints and everything. I'm like, okay, good, Jim. As long as they have a good home, that's all that matters to me. And I get some fresh eggs. That's it.
Yep.
I said, they'll be my girls. They will not be for food. Thank you.
Yeah, my laying hens, they're my girls. I call them my bees.
Your bees.
Yeah, I don't get into that other part of it here, but I'm like, hey, what up? And they're like, yeah, I love them. They've been crazy lately. Last year, the original dozen was so good because if I left the coop open and it got dark out, they would run right back to the coop with the light on. Now, not so much.
No?
Now they like to be right at the front of the house because the front door light is on.
They're waiting for mommy to walk them to bed.
Yeah. And then you know what happens? I go out and I go, hey, what are you doing out here? And the rest all come running out of the coop in the pitch dark.
Oh, they love their mama. What can they tell you?
Yeah. The chickens are life. Yes, Kelly. Yeah. Mine are still laying too, far north. In fact, last year, our original dozen never stopped laying last year. And we had the polar vortex and we were down below zero. And we actually had a heater in the coop for a couple nights. And it was like literally just about 14 in the coop and they were still laying. This year, I'm waiting for my original ones to molt and they've not even started. Everybody's still laying.
That's good. That's a blessing. So yes, we're gonna do a chicken. We're gonna just go with chickens, and then we spoke about meat birds. We did speak about that, Jimmy and I. So that's the game plan. So I would rather have my chickens first before a greenhouse. As hard as that is, I'm like, oh, I really want a greenhouse, but it's like, what do I want more? I want my chickens. So we're gonna do that for this spring.
And poultry is so easy to raise as a homesteader. It's cost effective and it's definitely a much easier thing to do.
Then I had to say to Jimmy, Jim, no rooster. And he's like, why not? We can annoy Ann next door. I'm like, no, Jim, no rooster. I said, Lisa went a whole year. This is what I said. No, Lisa went a whole year without a rooster.
Yep.
You only want a rooster if you want to have some babies. So we'll discuss that maybe a year later down the road or something.
I only got a rooster because the person who I bought Grant from had a beautiful rooster because she got a straight run.
Oh, bye, Voon.
Bye, Voon.
Love you.
Hey, Music Maj 34. Yes, Tom, thank you. The green screen is super fancy.
I got
good night, Nancy, our treasured home. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have the rooster until I was able to get one, and he's really been a good rooster.
That's good.
Grafted Branch Homestead said quail. You need quail.
I thought about quail. I was going to go to, because Nunya back 20, right?
Nunya, Texas, Jake, yeah.
Nunya, Texas, yes. Originally, I had spoken, well, we just wrote back and forth. And it was the eggs, it wasn't the actual quail birds. I'm like, oh, shoot, I can't get any off of you because I don't have a way to incubate them. So that's not going to work. Maybe I'll get you the next time around,
Yep. Absolutely. So you see the future of your homestead going towards some more animal stuff. You thinking about pigs?
One. Don't get me started. I'm already working on Jimmy. Believe me. I said to him, oh, we got to get a pig like Lisa has. I said, Jim, it's like having a potbelly pig. They'll just think it's our pet, and then one day it'll just be gone. It'll be in the freezer. No worries, buddy. And he was just like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, because he's an ex-hunter, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we get along really good. Like, we're in sync. If I have an idea and I go to Jimmy, I don't think since I've been here, he's like flat out just told me no about something. Well, maybe one thing, but no, it's not like that. I'm a grown woman. So when I said to him, how do you say it again, Lisa? The breed of your pig.
Cooney Cooney.
Cooney Cooney. I was saying it like a different way. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm just letting the dogs out. And he must have been thinking from the night before, and he's like, wait, what's the name of the pigs? And I'm like, I don't know, Keeny Keeny or something like that, Jimmy. You know what I mean? I said, hit me in about an hour or two and I'll let you know. But I said, yeah, very docile, and it could look like it's a potbelly pig here, and then, one day it just won't be here. That's all.
Yep.
A pig only has one bad day. That's it.
It's that. It depends on how you care for them. You know what I mean? And that's the way I look at it.
The animal and treat the animal with respect. They only have one bad day.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. So I don't know. I don't want to push it right away. We'll have to see how this world's going. But chickens first, and then I would probably go for a pig second. Third would be a greenhouse. Or
nice.
If I can't do the pig second, I just reverse it. You know how that goes.
Yeah. I would say the greenhouse.
I really don't want to garden in the dining room again. You know what I mean? Like, I may have to, but it just is what it is. Did you see? I mean, if you go back to some of the subscribers that have been with me from day one, this last growing season was, and my lives, 2, shelves back here full to the gills with plants. You see how that garden did? Because that's what you got to do. If you have a shorter growing season, start it early in the house. Everybody has their own predictions. And I'm a huge fan of Roots and Refuge. She is the one that literally got me doing everything from seed, instead of buying the plants. This year, I gave myself a break. What I mean by that is I thought like, oh, I could never go back to buying a plant again. I do everything from seed. And then I find like white eggplant. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Let me grab that and put it in the garden. I'll try to save seeds from it. But you know what, at least it was just okay. It's not something, so I bought that, and I bought that golden zucchini plant. Other than that, everything that was out in that garden was all done from seed that I grew right here in the dining room.
Yep. That's awesome.
I call this my purple green screen right here. Well, burgundy. I said to him, I can't wait to get those ugly curtains down, Jim. You know what I mean? As soon as I unpack, because he's like, Mel, do the whole house. I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. It'll be on the list.
You should get green screen curtains.
Yeah, right. I really should.
They'd be ugly during the day, but they'd be really cool on your lives.
I look at these, like, I remember doing like my living room at one time. Like, I was going more for like a burgundy color. It ended up looking burgundy-ish red, and then I got just sick of it. That's what those curtains remind me of. And I'm like, Jim, they're the ugliest curtains ever. And he's like, I know, but that's just what I put up. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to take them down and put up Mel's curtains,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to get to the question on the screen, but real quick, because I don't want to lose it. Joy Bless Life asked if we thought of meat rabbits. I've thought of meat rabbits.
I did too, and I don't want them. Nope.
Okay. I have thought about it, but the only way that I would do it is if I did it in a rabbit colony versus cages. I would insist upon a rabbit colony.
Well, I had a bunch of rabbits when I was growing up. Okay. Everybody has to remember, like, I'm a country girl. I'm from the mountains, like a mountain girl, I guess you could call me, ski bunny, whatever. And I had a bunch of rabbits. And honest to goodness, with the way the summer was this year, the humidity and all, it's very, very hard on rabbits, because I had 3 rabbits myself that were just pets, long story really short, I had a male rabbit. His name was Hopper. And I had him in like one of those round, like metal things that could hop around underneath the tree in the shade outside at my house. And my neighbor came out, and I'm looking at my rabbit like, what is going on with Hopper? And I see ice cubes on him. And I'm like, are you nuts? Why would you do that to the rabbit? And he's like, well, the rabbit looked like it was hot, you know. And I'm like, never ever do that to a rabbit. So he ended up suffering a stroke because of that. But he did end up, I had a, well, had, and it was a had, there, she's still alive, but my son's friend has my dwarf rabbit, but Hopper got her, and she ended up having 8 bunnies that I gave to good families, but they're pets. That's a little bit different compared to having meat rabbits. And I know how you do them and everything like that, but it's a lot of work. And
Yeah.
they have to have fans blowing on them in the summertime. If they're outside, it is just very, very time consuming.
Yep. I
So I'm
agree.
not really into having rabbits. It's not on the top of my list unless maybe I was starving to death, then I would take on some rabbits.
Yeah.
But
Eric at Bland's Promised Land Ranch had me talked into him one day, and I backed off again. It's like the goat thing. I really want goats, but then I don't want goats. So I'm really trying to be very, very selective in what I get, not just go, oh, they're really cute and I want them, because I don't want to chase goats around breaking out every day. I don't.
rabbits are really good. Okay, yes, they're, you know, meat rabbits are bred for a total different thing. It's not, they're not for pets, you know. But also their manure is very good for a garden because you can put it right in it. You don't have to worry about it cooling down like chicken manure, things of that nature. So I have used not chicken. I've used rabbit manure before just from my pet rabbits. But I normally don't really use any type of manure in like these beds over here. Well, back there that I did. Yeah. So that was all horticultural, you know, broken down things. And then
Yeah.
I got all the free wood chips that's now looking like that's starting to break down. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Grafted Branch, you asked a question. Well, you talked about raw dog food. I want to go back to it though, because I want to do Music Maj 34's question. What are some of your favorite homestead channels and why, Melody?
Some of my favorite homesteading channels and why. Okay, here we go. Let's say I watched Justin Rhodes for a very, very long time before he even became super duper famous with books and, you know, show and whatnot. And, you know, the whole rotating thing. So Justin Rhodes would be one. And I just think he's a very smart man. He's very smart. And he really started up this whole homesteading thing again, if you want to be realistic, you know. Him and, shoot, he always talks about him. The pig guy is the only thing I could think of right now. I just had a brain fart. Where you can put pigs in the woods and they'll clean it out. His buddy, he wrote books on it, you know.
Oh, Sow the Land?
No. Now there is a name. I can't think of it
What?
right now, but it's Justin
Oh,
Rhodes' mentor who
oh,
did, right?
Polyface Farms. Yeah, it's Polyface Farm. His mentor is Polyface Farms.
But what's the guy's
Joel
name? Joel, yeah,
Joel
him.
Salatin.
That's it. Thank you. That I wasn't thinking of the farm part. I'm just thinking of Joel Salatin, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, very, very good information right there. I also really fell in love with Roots and Refuge, who was never really consistent on YouTube in the very beginning. You know, because I'm a gardener and she liked to grow food and I could relate. And like I said, she really is the one that taught me. I saw a video one day and she was talking about seeds, you know, how much less expensive they are and da 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 da, whatever, this, that, and the third. And I just fell in love with that. I really admire her channel. It's, you know, they've moved and they're becoming more farmers, but you know, she's all about growing food. So I always like Jess from Roots and Refuge. Let me think of another homesteader channel and why. I don't know. I just named 2 big ones. I'm really trying to think of them on the spot right now. I don't know. I don't know, Elise. There's so many. It's hard to name them all. You know?
Yeah, I know it is
If I
hard.
had to name my top 2 or 3, there it is right there, you know? And if
Yeah.
you want to know about chickens, everything and anything that has to do with chickens, that would be Bobblehead, you know? I've watched Bobblehead from the beginning, and he bought different property now, and he just is like the bird man, you know? So everybody has their own thing they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Like I brag about, well, I don't brag, but I'd say one of my favorite channels is Simple Living Alaska. I don't know if my cousin lives in Alaska. I don't know if I would want to live in Alaska because I grew up in the mountains where the snow's up to here. But I like how she gardens.
Yeah.
Very short window to garden. I know how long she's been there by her gardening season. And I just like how they build it up and they use like the beetle killed trees. They're not like taking down live trees. It's
Right.
just, I like the tiny home thought of living, the simplicity of it all. So yeah, that's probably corny, but that's just what I like.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Hey, no way, Masty, welcome in. I hope I didn't miss anybody in the chat. If I did, I'm sorry. I tried to type in while we were doing the interview and also say hello.
And I'm really sorry if I'm leaving a homesteading channel out, but when you're put on the spot like that, I could probably
Yeah.
name 10 when this is over, but for the moment, I own 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally get it. Hey, Jim, Adventures on the Homestead. Daz, everybody's saying, like, how come you didn't say Daz at my Aussie Garden and Kitchen
Daz?
as your favorite homesteading channel?
Oh, no, Daz is my favorite for other reasons. And I might as well break the bad news to him now if he's in here. Hi, Daz. If you're in here, I still love you, buddy. I did not the, oh, well, I did a version of the curry chicken that Daz did, and I mentioned his name in it and everything. And then I was just like, oh, it doesn't really look anything like Daz's, but I wanted to mess around with some curry and see if I would like it. It was the curry paste, not the powder. Turned out great. I just have to get around to uploading the video.
Cool.
But he was my inspiration for that video, and I did say that. So I loved it. And I don't look at Daz as a homesteader. I look at Daz as more like, well, he's an amazing cook. It's just like I am. But it's new, kind of messing around with some curry. For me, that's a little bit new. I'm stepping outside the box. I don't want to eat the same thing all the time and have the same flavors all the time. So even throughout my cooking experiences, I never really went into the curry world.
Yeah.
And then I saw Daz do it on his channel. I'm like, that's it. I got to try this curry and see if I like it, don't like it. I loved it. I thought it was good. And I did it with all homegrown vegetables from out of the garden. So I think I messed up his name first in the video, and that's probably why I hesitated posting it. And then I caught myself and fixed it. But yeah, it's my Daz inspired curry chicken and vegetables. That's what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that'll be coming out soon.
Hey, Tommy at Mon's Family Homestead, welcome in, and Jim and Adventures on the Homestead, appreciate it. Yes, Melody is here from Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. So if you were a new YouTuber starting out, because you know what that's like, what kind of things that you have learned would you share with newer channels?
Oh, okay.
Take your time to think about it. I'll take a look at the chat if that works.
Yeah, no, I want to be completely honest about my thoughts, Yeah. So new YouTubers that are starting out, what would I suggest? Is that the question, or?
Yeah, or what have you learned that you might share with them?
Okay, what have I learned? Patience. First and foremost, I've learned patience. I've learned not to be so hard on myself on the mistakes that I make. I've been doing everything from a camera, from my phone. I watch a lot of big channels and they got the big camera and I'm like, oh, I got to have the big camera. I got to have this. I got to have that. No, you don't. I'm living proof. No, you don't. I don't even have an editing software right now because I am hoping I'm a good girl for Santa and I get a new laptop for Christmas, because my laptop took a dump. But I would just recommend, don't be too hard on yourself. Use what you have. I've quite a few newcomers that reached out to me were doing a lot of what I used to do before with the phone and holding it straight up and down. And I'm like, man, I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started to just turn it, I was doing that for like the longest time. Go back to 2019 and take a look, or 20, whatever it was. I think it was 2019. I was doing exactly that, So don't try to compete with the Joneses. Be yourself. I mean, first and foremost, people like real people on YouTube. I've had a lot of people come to my lives and say, this is why we come, because you're real. I've had a nervous breakdown on live. I've cried before, things happen. And needless to say, I'm just as real as they come. But I don't think you need to have every, expensive piece of equipment to start out. I think you need to just stay vigilant. Like I said, I used to be a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So when you get subscribers, they get used to, oh, okay, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I dropped it at 8 o'clock. Consistency is the best thing on YouTube. Be consistent. Now I'm 6 days a week. I had to take a couple days due to my roommate's health, here and there.
Agreed.
But needless to say, yeah, I always thought I had to have the best of everything, and you really don't. And you do get sometimes frustrated, like you were at 666, but you got out of 666 really
Yeah.
quick. Me? Oh no, honey. I was in 666 for like 2 months. And I
Oh
felt like I was
no.
in bad luck for 2 months. Like, please, I got to get out of 666, the number,
Oh
And
no.
your subscribers do and whatnot, but oh, you just have to take a breather. Like I do feel bad because there's a lot of people that I'm very, very fond of and I really, really like. I don't want to feel the pressures of like, I'm not going to name drop on here of like, oh, well, you're not supporting certain people. Like you get that sometimes. And it's like, listen, I'm one person. I'm the one woman show over here. I do the lives for 3 hours on a Sunday. I do videos 6 days a week. I have videos in my phone. I'm harvesting out of a garden. I
Yep.
just moved into a new homestead. I'm busy, like I will get to everyone when winter is boring. I've been slowly catching up. I've been
Right.
doing a few channels in the morning over my coffee. And then I wasn't feeling too good one day last week. And I caught up on a couple of Thorhaven Farms, a few of his videos, but I was just laying in the bed. But anyway, back to the whole YouTube. Just, I don't even have an editing software. I have no editing software because I'm waiting on my laptop. Hopefully I get a laptop and then I'll put editing software on there. I learned um, different angles, like if I got to prop it up on a pot and a pan, it's getting propped up on a pot and pan so you can see it, or like this is real life.
Yeah.
I'm here now. I have 2 Yorkshire Terriers. My roommate has a golden retriever that sheds like crazy. And they could be barking through my videos. And I'm like, pause, or I'll kill it and I'll redo it again. Finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that. I have
Yeah.
dogs. They're going to bark. As soon as I turn the camera on, they're going to bark like clockwork. I mean, it's just
Oh,
the way that it goes. You can't get frustrated. You can't get disappointed. All you can do is just be true to yourself. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. Just be true to yourself.
yep.
And, what is your objective for being on YouTube? That's the way I'm
Bingo.
looking at it. Right there. So my objective to being on YouTube is this like thing to try to help people. Like I have my own kids and my one is not the greatest cook or baker, she's much, much older. And I think of her and I'm like, well, even if she doesn't support me on YouTube, maybe she'll sneak and watch a video of me making a loaf of bread if times get tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just things like that. So it's just this need to want to teach people how to bake and cook, be less. I mean, I've been saying this, Lise, for over 2 years. Now look at the world.
Yeah.
If you go back to my earlier YouTube videos, my friends, in this entire chat, I have stuck to my truths from what I believe from day one. And I said, depend less on the grocery store, depend more on yourself,
Amen.
I mean, now look at it. And it's like, yes, I'm trying to, I came here with food. I also had a freezer incident that I moved here that was unplugged and I lost $4,000, over $4,000 worth of meats. I
Oh,
came here, my
word.
roommate had zero food. You got to just take one step at a time, But, that's what I've done with YouTube. I've been frustrated. You know what the tip is? Don't look at the numbers. When I stopped
Yeah.
watching the numbers,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person that's out. I said this too from day one.
Yeah.
Don't depend on the grocery store. Depend on yourself. Grow your own food. Grow what you eat. What's the point of growing something if you're not going to eat it? Right? It's not
Agreed.
worth it. So with that being said, I've always put those hashtags in my earlier day videos and things of that nature. And, I just feel like when it comes to YouTube, once I stopped looking at the numbers, it was like, here I am. And I am blessed. I can't even believe that I got monetized. Like, what was it, 2.5 weeks ago at 10:04 at night? I'll never forget it. 10:04 at night.
I
And
heard
I
you
was like,
screaming all the way out here.
now I was like, yes, I was super excited, And I happened to be on the phone kitchen shenanigans at the time when it happened. And then, of course, I was talking to Boone. As I was talking to Boone, it was like as fast as my high was up here, like Jimmy got up, sleepwalking to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, Jimmy, probably scared the daylights out of him. He's like, what? And I'm like, I made it. I'm at 1,000 subscribers. And he's like, did you get the last from my friend? My friend is likes to play around a little bit too much. Like, well, let me know when you get to 999. I'll give you that one subscription. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't need one subscription. So at 10:04 at night, and I told Jimmy, that I made it. I was on the phone talking to Boone. And in a matter of I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, I was right back down to 995 or 994 as soon as I made it. So it was sort of like I had a second or two to be excited. And then I was like, oh no, here we go again. So this is my other piece of advice when it comes to YouTube. And that is, the numbers get messed with. You have people that say that they subscribe, but then they might not leave a comment under 3 videos or give it a thumbs up. The numbers are going to keep going. I mean, they've been doing that to me for a long time. I worked very hard for the subscribers that I have. Amen. Or even had. And I would be like 7 something. I'd get bumped back down to 666 again. I'm like, YouTube, you know what I mean? But what are you going to do?
Yep.
So should I just quit? No. So my word of advice is go for whatever your passion is. Stick with that. Be patient. Don't look at the numbers and be real. Whatever your zhush is on YouTube, then you go with that.
Your zhush?
Yeah, I say your zhush. Whatever your zhush is, go for it, Shush. Yeah. So.
You're awesome. Yeah, it's so true, Melody. I mean, it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Hey, Celtic Roots. Hey, Andale.
And you know what? Don't jump on the bandwagons either. I mean, not at all. Some people, okay, let me explain this very quickly. I feel like it's kind of off my forehead. Let me move that back, or I might have to move it up. Let me get into this very quickly. I've always been raised to depend on myself. Yeah. When you don't have parents, and aunt by marriage who raised me, whole other story. And it was always like that. I'm an Aries. I don't like to food shop, first of all. I don't want to go every week. I don't even want to go every 2 weeks. I'll go once a month, And it just so happened where I was like, I know that I've grown a lot of vegetables, but I want to go pick up some different canned goods or whatnot. I go to Aldi's. I've done hauls before when I came here. It's not like I just jumped on the bandwagon. I have hauls on my actual channel. And I was like, you know what? Let me just do this Aldi's haul. I haven't done one in a while. Yeah. And I posted it. And the last I checked, it's at 10K.
Wow.
And I think the reason why, let's just think of the why. The why is because I said I would be truthful and honest. I'm going to bring my subscribers along. I've said I'm not moved in. So let me show you how I do it and how am I stocked in case of an emergency. So there was regular food within that order. Then there was also canned goods, shelf stable things that I needed to get that were within that order. And I think that's what did it. And it's been like, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it's at 10K over an Aldi's video.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I'm about being a prepper and scaring people like a doomsday prepper. That's not who I am. But if you
Yep.
want to learn to get prepared, and do a little prepping, what I mean by prepping in my terminology of prepping is, for an example, I just bought new containers. I'm going to bring everybody along. Like, I showed how I store certain things in glass mason jars, and then I bought other containers that have the lock button on it for maybe
Nice.
people that can't afford like the big buckets, or maybe you can't find them like me.
Right.
So that's what I mean by prepping and preparing. Preparing things to put away in the freezer, preparing things to have on the shelf,
Yep.
having other means of things in the house in case of, like, I had 6 or 8 tornadoes this spring going into my summer.
Right.
I wish I would have had that little radio with the solar AM FM weather on it at the time, so I could have been prepared. That's basically what I'm doing on my channel: cooking, baking, gardening, and bringing these along so that I can get prepared and prep. We could do it together. Plus, it also helps me to get unpacked, my friends.
Yeah.
So, I don't want anyone thinking for a minute that my channel is going to be the type of channel to scare anyone. I think knowledge is important. Knowledge is very important, and you should always be 10 steps ahead.
Agreed.
It's just kind of how I was raised, and my 10 steps ahead is to make sure that we are pretty stocked in this household. And with that mentality of thinking, then when something happens, then we'll be okay.
I couldn't agree more. And that's one of the things that we did was we also did 2 videos on the 2 different Walmart stores. There's 2 in Rapid City, and one of them is in a different section of town, and then there's another one in another section of town. And I think one has over 3,000 views. And again, it's just because I'm just giving you the facts. I'm not sitting there going freak out, do all this stuff. I'm simply telling you, hey, this is what it looks like. It really doesn't look bad here, but that doesn't mean it's okay. You need to do something. You know what I mean?
Everybody's state is going to be different. That's number
Right.
one. Number two, I was asked if I would do like a walkthrough on the Dollar Tree because I happen to be in the city. It's not like I just was like, oh, okay, this is the hot trend, let's go for it. No, it was already someone on Instagram DM'd me, that I know, and was like, can you record what that Dollar Tree looks? I call it dollar store, Dollar Tree. I don't know. They're all the same to me, So we were going into the city, me and my roommate, and I was like, okay, I guess I could do it. I just don't want to get anybody's face in it. Like, I've never done that before. And I did it because they wanted to see. It's a bigger Dollar Tree. Also, the city, things are a little bit different in the city, but, and there was a comment under there that said, enjoyed the video, but you moved around a lot, so it made me a little dizzy. Well, sorry, but I'm not trying to invade anyone's personal space and put their face in the video, So that's kind of the other thing is I was asked to do certain things. When my subscribers ask me to do things, let me tell you something. You have my word. For an example, bug out seed bag for the seeds. For the seeds last year, I'm going to be doing a sit down. I'm going to be talking about that, how I picked up a seed vault seed. I don't know how to explain this. Okay, it's the bug out seed bag. It's full of seeds, and I did an honest review on it, and another one, and it has 25-year shelf life. And I'm like, because I love seeds, Lisa. I love seeds. You can never have enough seeds, honey. So, I got them as a Christmas gift. I really wanted them, which I know probably no one else would ask for that, but I did, and Chris got it for me. And then I did 2 separate videos on both of them. And it just so happened that my subscribers were like, well, can you plant them? And let us know what you think of it, which that video will be coming out. But also, the garden this year. I've never, and this is not including the side garden that I did near the raspberries and blueberry bushes and the apple tree that's going to be the fruit side. That was just because I had way too many extra cups of things, but I never grow 135 tomato plants in my beds ever.
Wow.
But again, I'm that person that, okay, let's try out the seed vault bag. Let's see how these seeds really are. Let's plant them as seeds here in the dining room under grow lights, get them out to the thing. And you know what? Look at all the storms that I had. Look at how much food I produced. So the proof is in the pudding. And I used the other bag too. I can't think of the name of that actual seed vault. But that one also is a 25, if this helps anyone,
Yeah.
the video is going to be coming out on what my opinion is of the seeds. But the moral of my story is I was asked to plant these seeds and I did. And that's the crazy garden I had this year. That's what it came from, And, I think seeds are going to become an issue again. I'm a good instinctual person. I do pay attention. And about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I was like, if I'm going to give an honest review to my subscribers for what they asked me to do with these seeds from the seed vault or the seed bug out bag, I plant them. If they're paying attention, they're seeing these harvests come out of the garden. Some of these things don't need to be pollinated either,
Yeah.
And I'll just break it to you now. I went and I bought 2 more of the same exact bags.
Good.
And I have them and I don't have to worry about seeds. God forbid if something was to happen,
Yep. I just bought we bought a photo box. They call it a photo box to organize it. It's plastic.
Yeah, I have 8 of them, hon.
Okay, sorry.
I like seeds leaves. No, it started off, I bought 2 at like a Michael's Craft around here.
Nice.
It's like 2 for $50 or 2 for $30. I think that's what it was. No, I got it online. And then my friend went to Michael's and 1 box was $50. But needless to say, there was like a big sale and he grabbed me like the other 6. So I don't know if I have 7 or if I have 8, but they're a mess right now. They are not organized by no means because, this is my first time ever having a winter garden out there. So I still have food growing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, if it's all right with you, I'm going to throw it out to the chat to see if other people want to come up and say hello and ask you some questions.
Fine by me.
I appreciate you being in here tonight.
No, you're so welcome. Hopefully I didn't chatter too much.
No, not at all. If you guys want to come up, that's fine. Just need you to come up and we need to see your face. I need to know who you are and I need you to be respectful and also keep in mind there may be families watching even though it's late. Please.
You sound like Courtney.
What's that?
You sound like Courtney. That's what Courtney does.
Well, you know what? I think it's important and we had some
look out for your, subscribers that are in there. There could be possible kids in there. So just got to be careful. This is why I do not cuss on YouTube. I don't do any of those things which falls into that other category that you mentioned about,
Hey, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Mel.
How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm the very best.
Good.
Just learning more about seeds.
Oh, boy.
So curious, Seed Faith Homestead wants to know if y'all store your seeds in the refrigerator or just in a dark, cool room. I do mine in a dark, cool room.
With the refrigerator, if your temperature goes up and down 1 little degree, you create moisture and you lose your seeds.
Yep. I have the big bag, like the bug out seed bag is about this big. And then the other one's a little bit smaller. I don't put any of my seeds in the refrigerator at all. I don't trust that. I've never done that in years and years of all the years I've been gardening. I just leave my seeds where they belong and that's it. I don't put them in the fridge. There are certain seeds like rosemary or whatever that you have to, put in the cold or put in. So, you could do it that way for just rosemary, but I wouldn't put my seeds in the freezer. Hello.
Hi, Casey.
Oh, I didn't see it was Casey's name at first. I'm like over here squinting.
Hi, Melody.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. Hi, Scott. Scott,
Hey.
why are you sitting like that?
What?
You're sitting all like crazy in your videos, sir.
It
Well,
looks like he's in a recliner
You're
chair.
talking about seeds. You got to sit up and
I'm
talk
my
about it.
boy.
My pleasure, Joy. We try to do that. We have a lot of fun and sometimes it is a little risque, but at least we're not swearing and carrying on. Right, Scott?
Amen.
At least I think you should have probably said, right, Casey?
Oh my gosh.
No, but it's so true about refrigerating seeds, Melody. I agree with you. It's you can't trust. People always say, "Put your seeds in the fridge." No.
No, I've never done it. Cog Hill Farm is another one, Lise. Cog Hill Farm said that he has some seeds back from like his grandfather, I think it was. It's okra seeds, and he keeps them in a mason jar in the fridge. I don't. Mine were down in the basement, and I dug them out when I planted them, and they grew, and I got okra. I don't even like okra. I just grow the seeds for other people that do like okra. Well, that's not true. I like the pickle okra challenge that I was in. When it was ice cold, they were good.
So
Yeah, I'm not a fan of okra myself.
and I've had somebody else actually ask me, not this week, but last week, about putting them in the freezer. I said, that's even worse than the fridge. Because
Yeah.
all your new freezers now have automatic defrost, which
Right.
your
Good
temperature.
night, grafted branch.
So, you know,
Yeah, it'll go up and down, and it could possibly mold them, or, I don't want to take a chance, and I can just only go by my own experience that I've never put seeds in the fridge all the years that I've been growing. And believe me, I'm older than a box of rocks. So,
you
I've never done it. Huh?
you invented dirt.
I invented dirt.
Now, Scott, you know that was a little bit shady over there, my friend.
Hey, but it was risque.
I'm going to grab a glass of water. I'll be right back.
We'll be here waiting.
We'll keep ourselves entertained.
No, but Melody, it's the same thing with anything. Like, not just seeds don't put in the refrigerator. Like, people talk about putting bread in the refrigerator to get it, make it last longer.
Yeah.
Bread's terrible in the fridge. Don't put bread in the fridge. Don't put seeds in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you should put meat in the fridge. I guess I'll go.
I mean, I usually put, if I have extra like bread or whatever, I'll put it in the freezer.
Freezer.
My freezers are kind of like crowded right now.
Right.
And true story, I went and I picked up some pumpernickel bread, and then I was trying to make more room for some diced peppers from out of my garden. And I took my pumpernickel bread out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator, and it's pure green today. So tomorrow I have to clean out my fridge because, bread. This is the other thing I try to teach when I'm trying to teach people how to bake bread or like cinnamon rolls or whatever the case may be. There's an enzyme in the milk. If you don't heat it up, it will spoil the bread quicker. So to replace that, I use milk powder. I don't have to worry about it. My bread will last a whole lot longer. So you see what I'm saying?
Oh, I didn't think about that. That is a good idea.
Ever notice when you go and bake bread, it doesn't last all that long? It doesn't matter what container you buy, what bag you put it in, it just molds way too quickly.
Yeah.
If you don't warm the milk up to kill the enzyme within the milk, and you just say it once like a half a cup of milk, that bread's only going to last like maybe 3 days for it. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not going to get like a loaf of bread for a week. So I don't use that, and I will use the milk powder when I go and I bake my bread. So there's my little tip for the night.
But
Good tip. I actually just ordered some milk powder because I found a recipe for cookies in a jar that asks for milk powder.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's one. Look at Lisa's eyes. Yeah, it's one that you can actually like can and like set aside for when people come over. So milk powder is the new thing to get, y'all.
Well, I just bought milk powder. I guess the last time that I went out, and you could totally see how the prices went up on that. Like originally it'd be like in a box here in Pennsylvania or whatever, like maybe $5. And then it went to a bag, and the bag was like about $7.99. Now the bag's like $15.99. So, that's a hike. And if anything happens with milk, I mean, I honestly grew up drinking powdered milk. That's just what she did. I don't know why she did what she did, but she would use the gallon of milk and always made me the non-dairy powdered milk. And I drank that my whole life, and I'm okay,
Well,
So it's also a good thing to have in your arsenal for, in case of a rainy day and there's no milk. Not all of us have a cow in the backyard,
Right.
No, not at all.
I
Hey,
have-
Melody, Celtic Roots wants to know if there was a seed that could allow you to grow anything edible, what would it be?
If there was a seed that could allow you to grow anything edible, what would it be? Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
Ariella.
And I have to think of my climate. There's a seed to grow. You know what? I really wish there was a seed and my climate was different so I could grow bananas, but we know that's unrealistic. You know, you could grow a little citrus here, but you have to bring the pot in the wintertime. So I think I'm really going to have to say like bananas would be my first pick. Grapes. I think I'd like to get into doing some grapes.
Wow.
If you go watch Black's Tropical Homestead,
Oh,
which Casey just got off of, Sherry and Bobby can grow bananas there, and they said there is a strain that we could grow up here.
mm.
If I can grow it in Canada, you're 200 miles south of me. So I think it's possible, Mel.
Yeah. What is Barb saying? Barb's saying, what is it? In Sweden, they have the world's seed ball, and it is freezing there. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Anybody else understand the question? I love Barb.
I
Probably.
don't. Barb, can you clarify? And by the way, Black's Tropical, I meant to tell you, I watched your whole live until we went live, but I had commented and just said I was listening and lurking. I wanted you to know I was there.
I saw
Barb actually told me.
Casey, what was that?
Well, it's
Barb
like,
actually
well,
told me
we
that
are
if she lived-
yes.
Huh?
Barb
said-
had actually told me if she lived closer when I was stressing out. She's like, if I lived closer, I'd be over to help you to cut up peppers. And I'm like, oh, I so wish you did live closer.
So where you see that people are freezing it or it's in fridges, they are climate controlled.
Oh, yeah.
The fridges that we have here, they are one certain degree and it stays that forever.
Yeah.
Your home freezer, especially the newer models, they defrost once a day. And that what that does is it puts hot air into a freezing freezer. So your temperature like this in your home.
That's very true, Barb, right there. Barb's Country Home. She says they keep one seed of every seed in the world just in case the end of the world. Very true. But I've went through a lot of different like seed vault companies and whatnot, and you know, I've tried different seeds, and it really boiled down to what I think is the best seed. So, you know, and they're the two that I used this entire season, and they're the two that I just got repurchased. So there's the one has the smaller packs about this big, and let me see, the bug out seed bag has the full size packs of seeds. So
Nice.
and it's reasonable too. So
Celtic Roots Farm wants you to think bigger, think magical. I'm talking candy bars, desserts, etc.
for who?
About the one thing you could grow.
If I could, okay,
Snickers.
if we're gonna go there. I would like to grow me a tiramisu tree. Like I could eat tiramisu 7 days a week.
Nice.
So
Let me grow a money tree and I'll buy whatever I want.
yeah, that's true too. But now I'm going to be making a tiramisu. It's like one of my favorite desserts. I'm going to be making one for the upcoming holiday and bring everybody along while I make that, and hopefully one pie, because hopefully the kitchen will be done. We shall see. But yeah, if we keep the seed vault freezing, but it's very special freezer, especially
So-
modded.
Either Daz or Steve from Sweeney's are going to do. Daz could put it in the chat what they call it. I tell you what, I was on a chat last night and Daz and Steve were talking. Oh, it was Bland's. They were talking about this heavenly thing that they have in Australia.
Oh,
It's like a vanilla custard kind of thing in the middle of two thin wafers
mhm.
covered by like some kind of
He's saying snot block.
yeah that's it, snot block.
Hey, our Okie Homestead, welcome.
Oh my
I
god.
think somebody asked where I'm from. Did I just see that, Lise?
Yeah, somebody asked you. Hold on a minute. Let me go right back to it. Oh, we lost Casey. How far is Melody from South Central PA? And that's up to you if you answer with details or not, okay?
Well, I'm just in Pennsylvania. I think I'm on the eastern side of Pennsylvania. Hopefully I don't sound like a halfwit right now, but I think
No,
that's where I'm at.
you are.
So, yeah. I live
It's
near
called
the
a-
river, if that helps anybody.
That's cool.
Oompa Loompas laugh out loud.
Did
Daz said it's called Vanilla Slice, and the slang name is Snot Block.
Mm.
call
I
it-
like custard. I love custards. You know, I like things like tiramisu. I'm just not when you asked me the question earlier, I'm just not a very picky person. I don't really care for a coconut unless it's my homemade coconut cake, or like an almond joy. Let's keep it real. And coconut macaroons. That's it. And other than that, I can't crunch on coconut unless it's real. Somebody cracks it for me. I can eat that coconut. It's very strange. I think fake coconut is what turns me off, but the real coconut I like. And just cantaloupe, honeydew, and butter pecan ice cream. And that's it. That's all my dislikes I have as far as food's concerned. Everything else, I eat it all. I'm a good girl. I eat all my fruits and veggies.
Did Casey fall off his chair or what happened? Casey,
I
what?
don't-
man?
Casey, where are you?
Hello, Casey. He had one too many wine and fell off his chair.
Oh,
I think he's ready for bed.
There could be, yeah, that could be too. Because the one drink that he started with at Bland or at Black's, there was enough alcohol in there to choke a small person.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it sounded like it, and he looked really tired.
Yeah.
Any last minute questions for Melody? I want to make sure we get those in because Melody is, I mean, seriously, I mean, if you guys have not checked out our channel, you have got to check it out. I mean, she was a serious Shed Wars 2021 competitor, and I just feel like she's really just done amazing, and I think she's really been a great role model for women in general. And I just
November the 23rd. Well, Shed Wars is technically over. I mean, except for what we're harvesting now. But I have to submit my poundage of weights into Homestead Aquarius.
I
which-
can't wait.
I know you and Gina. Everybody cannot wait.
I have
Yeah.
been waiting and waiting, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I cannot wait. And I didn't realize you could count animals.
Yeah.
I mean, but for you, you've grown far exceeded that.
Yeah, I don't know. They changed the rules on some things or whatever, but yeah, Shed Wars also like it was very interesting to say the least, but really hard. Where I'm in the garden sweating to death, and all I want to do is eat a banana pepper. And my roommate's like, "Did you weigh that? Did you weigh that?" I'm like, "If you come at me again and tell me to weigh something, I'm going to lose my mind. Can I just eat a pepper?" So I didn't really get to enjoy some things this year. So when I just did the harvest for the video I put out today, I did say I was holding on to a couple green tomatoes so that I could specifically have fried green tomatoes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And look, I just picked these, Lise.
Oh, for goodness sakes, you're still growing.
Still
Oh,
growing.
Well, look at today's video. I posted. I did like a mad dash run. Oh, I was getting drizzled on and everything, trying to get all the peppers picked, all the tomatoes picked.
Night, Jake.
I did lose like getting some of my basil, but you know, you can't win them all. But you'll see tomorrow's video. You're going to be like, wait, you lost some basil. It is unbelievable. But my whiskey barrel was full of 2 different types of basil. So I'm running around like a nut. I'm getting rained on. I'm trying to harvest everything. Oh my gosh. You're saying 33 degrees. And then Shannon says to me via phone, she goes, could you imagine if you go through all this and you don't even get your first frost? And that is exactly what had happened. It's exactly what happened. But then the following night got first frost. I got my garlic in the nick of time, let me tell you. And I couldn't get garlic online. I had to literally go buy organic garlic and try to plant the bigger heads. I'm not looking to grow like 7,000 garlics, but I did like a pretty decent patch of garlic, for next year.
So
Yep.
why are my green peppers still growing after half an inch of snow?
Why are they?
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just keep growing until they die. But normally, like I do say in a video, if you have peppers, if you've never seen them really get hit with some frost, boy, they're like disgusting. They get all mushy and soggy. I would have seeds everywhere. That would be like my biggest nightmare. So I'm like, let me get everything harvested. So I posted that video today of harvesting all that. And then tomorrow's going to be a different harvest to go along with that. And I think that should be it as far as Shed Wars is concerned. Now, I'm not saying I don't have other gardening videos inside my phone, because it's just been a crazy season and I, just didn't have a chance to post everything. Meaning, like, I had a little bit of blossom end rot on like just a couple of my peppers towards like it was probably the beginning of summer. And I went to the Black Gumbo channel because I typed in like, normally you see blossom end rot on tomatoes. You don't usually see that on peppers in a brand new bed. So I was like,
Right.
panic mode. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I did my research and I did the calcium and I do a whole video on it and it's on my phone. So I don't want anybody to think I'm retarded. If you see me in like, I don't know, bikini top, thin overalls that are cotton, I think that video should be posted for people to know for next year. Because
Yep.
I give a tip of what I'm doing now at the end of the season for that bed, so that never happens to me again.
Yep. I
So
agree.
I probably will post that about pepper blossom end rot. But I went over to the Black Gumbo's channel. He did like Rolaids, something else, and then he had like this calcium remedy. So I went out and bought the ingredients and made it. And, I also did the milk spray too. So I think that video is probably very valuable for gardeners, because you normally do think of blossom end rot on a tomato. You never really think of that on a pepper.
Yeah.
So I dealt with that on a few of my pepper plants and I gave it this treatment like twice. One time I sprayed it with the milk spray all over the foliage. And then, that was it. So I think I'm going to cut out the middleman here. And what I mean by that is composting. Instead of having the bucket and doing all that, I think I'm just going to do like dig a hole in the bed.
Ooh.
And I'm going to throw scraps in there and cover it up and let it do its thing in the wintertime. Because right now I'm trying to close up a few beds that don't have food in it. I'm trying to cover it up with leaves. Like
Right,
I did a very quick video on never leave your garden in ground or beds exposed to the elements, especially if it's really good soil,
Yep. I agree. Here's my shirt. That's my mantra for my garden.
Oh,
Literally freezing.
Southern Sown and Grown says, what's the point of Shed Wars? It's very interesting. Shed Wars is a community that teaches people how to grow food. And it's somewhat of a game. Like they'll pick on each other and, John will yell and whatnot. And, he loses some subscribers by doing that because people don't want to go to the end of the video to see that he's actually giving you like a shout out or a compliment. But it's just a community that comes together. Hi, Robert. It's just a community that comes together to finish answering her question, to teach people how to grow food and, have a little fun with it. So hopefully that answered her question.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Hey, Robert, Homestead Aquarius, welcome in.
To teach the world how to grow their own food and be more okay, well, we already talked about that, obviously, of me being interviewed tonight about being more self-sufficient, right, Lise?
That's right. Totally. Well, Melody, I mean, anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to share? It's been an honor to have you here.
Oh, you're like a very dear friend of mine, Lise, and I love your content. Let me see, what else would I like to say? I really appreciate my subscribers. And that's basically what I'm about. Just a cut and dry kind of girl who wears her heart on her sleeve, may have a different way of teaching you to garden, cutting out the big words. Because I remember when I was learning to garden and someone would say this like really big word and I'm like, wait, what? So I decided that I would teach on a more of a level so people could understand. And I think it's important to be patient and kind and try to help people, you know? So that's pretty much what the whole gardening deal is to grow food for me anyway. And to be, I mean, I've always been self-efficient and self-reliant. So with that being said, you know, it's just to basically help people with cooking and baking. Like we're going to be getting into, I will do some things for the holidays, but you know, I'm also trying to move in. um, I think last year I left out the turkey, but I did a couple sides. So this year I might show how to do the turkey. But I'm hoping to get back into, you know, some cooking, and I want to do some, you know, different recipes that I think would be fundamentally really important in today's world. So, you know, so want to follow along on my journey. That's great. You know, we can prepare and prep and cook and bake and do a garden and all together. You know, you can find me over on Instagram if you have any questions or anything, because I have people that reach out, you know, and like, look, I know how to water bath can. I taught myself how to do that, but I am still intimidated when it comes to the pressure canner, but I'm going to get over it because I harvested my beets and a lot of beets. So I don't want everything pickled. So the only way to get over that fear, someone had wrote me and said, and this was really good. A subscriber had wrote me, can't think of the name offhand, and said, why don't you just put water inside a canning jar and pressure canning it? And I thought to myself, that's excellent, right? That you can get people going that way and get them over their fear. And then I thought, if I'm going to go through that to do a jar of water, I might as well just get over the fear altogether. You know what I mean? And just go for it. But I'll do it when my roommate's home in case, you know, I blow his roof off in the kitchen. Every time I do that, it annoys him. I'm always like, oh, Jimmy's house, Jimmy's roof. And he's like, no, it's not at your house too. Did you forget that? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So, you know, so we're going to bring people along. We're turning a closet. It's in a very odd spot. It's like you go through the kitchen. It's like a little foyer area with a door that leads out back, and then like a half bathroom. And it was sort of like a waste of space. So I'm going to turn the camera on and I'm going to show everyone how I'm going to turn this. I asked Jimmy what kind of closet that was. I said, it looks sort of like a coat closet, and that's weird. It's right next to the kitchen. I never saw that before. Like I just never did, you know? And I said, it's just a waste of space. So I'm going to bring everyone along and show them how I'm going to get this kitchen together. And we are going to be turning that. We just bought all the supplies earlier tonight, and we're going to turn that into hopefully a really nice pantry with some shelves on there so I can get the food out of the cabinets and put it in a pantry. You know what I mean? Because I need the cabinets.
Yep.
So, you know.
Laura said, once you try it, Melody, it's really addictive. I was the same way, terrified, but now I love canning. And also, Alicia at Country Mama Musings has told me this, and she said, pressure can a few jars of water to store sterilized water for first aid.
Yeah. Yes, that's very good, Country Mama Musing. Absolutely. Because, I mean, I plan on doing that. But I have beets sitting in water right now, and I'm like, I got to get to them tomorrow and just get over it. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether to turn on the camera, like, oh boy, let's record this first time session of pressure canning, or just do it first and then I'll do something else, you know?
Hey, you know what we do? I mean, you've seen it here. I mean, we've butchered antelope. We have done some other things, and we've said it's not a tutorial. This is our experience.
Yeah.
And it's our first time. And please, we're not telling you how to do this because.
Right.
You know,
right. So for me, if I was to do it for my first time, I'll be like, you know, I'm not a professional here. Let's just see how the newbie canner does for the first time, because I'm sure Boone would appreciate it. She sent me a beautiful Presto canner with the extra rack. So, I mean, honestly, I think I put myself through a lot more work this season when I could have just used it. But I was honest with Boone. I used it once for a water bath canner. And then for the whole rest of the season, it's been holding all my rings. I mean, you know, I need to get it on the stove. I think the thing for me, it's not so much blowing off the roof. I joke around when I say that. I have a flat top electric stove. And that's what's scaring me because I saw people say it cracks their stove.
Yeah.
But then I
I've
also
heard,
saw other people say like, no, I have that stove and it's perfectly fine.
I have heard that you cannot can on certain glass top stoves. And that was when I heard that on YouTube. I said to Ryan, I'm like, because we're going to be ripping out our kitchen because our stove is ready to die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know, if we're going to look for a glass top stove, we need to make sure that we can use one and not have it break apart, you know?
Well, I forget the brand that I have. It's fairly new too. So that would really stink if it broke it because it's fairly new. But
Yeah.
I forget where I was when I was seeing this conversation. It was people in the chat, somebody that's a pretty big canner, like a canning person. And I've seen multiple people leave comments below that they had that stove. And yes, it works on the fast burner because I have a fast burner. Like you're not keeping your eye on things. It cooks really quick, you know. But I think I'll start off on the bigger burner, take my time, see what happens. And what's the worst? I have a glass top, but some models are not rated for canning.
Yep.
I wonder what one mine is. Maybe somebody could help me. I'll tell you exactly what my stove is. Hold on, my friends.
Yep.
And let's see, because that's really the pure reason that's stopping me from canning.
No, I totally get it. I don't have a glass top. I would give anything for a gas stove because it's just so much nicer. I grew up on gas stoves and
So did I. I have a Frigidaire.
gas dryer. Oh,
I have a Frigidaire glass top. So with the fast burner, steam cleaner type of ovens. If anybody wants to look that up and let me know, that'd be great because that's really what's stopping me from canning. It's not so much that the lid's going to blow off. I've learned, you know, and did a lot of research. Start out with the electric. Oh, can you go back to that last comment, please?
Start out with the electric Nesco 9.5.
That's what I had. That's what Boone got me, right? The 9.5, I think it is.
Hang on.
Electric Nesco 9.5.
Electric.
Oh, the electric?
Yeah. Mennonite said, call the manufacturer of your stove.
Okay. And I said it was what again? A Frigidaire. So yeah. We have a glass top stove and an RV. It stays hot longer. Lisa, just don't store things above it that can break the glass.
Yep. Agreed, Joy. Celtic Roots is on fire.
Yes, yours will work, Melody. Really, Laura? Oh my goodness. I'm hoping that's the case because I really got to get my butt pressure canning. Lisa Yogi Ho Farm, I need to get to go help my wife. Daz, I love you, Daz.
Bye, Daz. No worries. We're going to get going here in a few minutes. We try to cut it off at the 2 hours, but I want to make sure we just finish everything up. Thank you so much, Daz, for everything you do tonight.
Thank you, Daz. But no, thank you. Who was that? Laura? That said that my stove will work for canning?
Yeah.
Oh, amen. Because I'm waiting on this wood burning stove if you want the real truth here. Because, you know, I mean, yeah, I could go outside and do it on the grill but I would rather do it inside, you know?
Yep.
Get a short on Nesco. Oh, yeah, that's the electric version.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one that Boone got me is what is this one? The Presto.
Southern Belle. I just wanted to say hi to Miss Southern Belle because look, she gave me this shirt that says literally freezing.
Oh, I love that shirt. I want one because look at me right now. You can't really see me, but I'm like holding my arms like this because I'm cold. I'm cold.
I bet you are freezing.
Well, the temperature dipped a little bit here today and tonight. It was 70 yesterday, you know, crazy weather. Chilly today, going to be nice tomorrow. It's going to rain here on Sunday. So I have a lot to get done this weekend. We're going to work on that closet. And I really don't want to go out in the rain to go food shopping. But I think I'm headed out to go get my holiday food tomorrow at some point. So
how exciting.
I can find a turkey and a ham. That's all I hope for.
Good night, Scott, Rambling with the Brooms. Well, Melody, we have just adored having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. I probably talk too much, but that's the way it goes when you're nervous.
You know what, Melody? I'd rather have somebody who comes on and talks than just sits there and stares at me. So you know what? I'm glad.
Oh, that's good. I enjoyed being here. This was great. Thank you for having me or asking me. How long ago? Or I might have asked you. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't even think I was like monetized then.
It was in October.
Yeah, October. And I was thinking it was like November the 10th. And you hit me up last night. I was watching. Do you ever see the show, Sisters and Brothers? Did anybody ever watch that? I'm like binge watching it now. I love that show.
I haven't.
But I was asleep though when you left that message or whatever. And I was all in tune to something. And I'm like, all right, I'll get to the phone. And then I saw it was you. And I was like, oh, I'm going on tomorrow. Okay, great. I guess I know what I'm doing for my Friday night. I'm going on Lisa. So I love it. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully people get to know me a little bit better by being on your channel. And I'm hoping, like I said, that Santa thinks I was a good girl. And maybe I'll get a laptop. And then guess what, Miss Lisa? You will be up on my panel, honey.
I'm there.
All right, good.
I am totally there, Melody. You just say the word, I will be there. And
Okay.
Kicking It Country Vlogs is in North Carolina, where I used to live, not far. And they said it was 26 in Spruce Pine, which is close to where I used to live. And I wanted to tell them that it's 36 here. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, we're up in, I think we're like I think tonight's low is like 38 tonight. Yeah, so it is a little, actually, like Jimmy had put the heat on a little ways back. I'm like, are you nuts? It's like 75, 80 degrees here.
Oh my gosh.
Like, we had a very mild fall, let me tell you that much, but it has not clicked on at all. Guess what? It just clicked on. I just heard it.
Wow. Because
it's just getting a little chilly in here. I got like olive oil arms, girl. So, I get cold faster.
Well, I tell you, we've had our heat going for a while now. So
I'm sure you already had snow. Well, they're saying that Pennsylvania is going to get some snow for over the holidays. So I'm just going to go by the old Farmer's Almanac.
Yep.
And it said like December, but a big snowstorm going into January. So I'm already wrapping my head around that one. I want to be kicked back, no gardening, get comfy clothes. Like I have nothing to do, but I have a funny feeling that that's not going to work out this winter because I have to move in. So
yeah, no
but
kidding.
This was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I adore you, and you know that.
And likewise, Miss Melody.
So I will see you throughout YouTube and on each other's channels. And
always,
I think you are like such a good person, Lisa. You support a lot of channels, and yeah, just means a lot to me to have me on. So I appreciate it.
You're going to make me cry now.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just speak the truth. I think you're a good person. I think that you will get there. Just don't look at it. This is what I predict. Can I do my prediction?
Sure.
Okay. What's your sub count right now?
778 or 9 or something like that.
I think by New Year's Eve, you'll be at 1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You'll hear me screaming.
Right. You got my number. You better be calling me screaming.
Oh, I'll be texting you.
I didn't want to call you because it was like 10:04 and I'm like, oh yeah, let me wake Lisa. I'm like, Lise, I did it. I got it down. Now I just have to learn all the other things. So if anybody has any advice on how to do taxes for YouTube, please hit me up and let me know. You know what I mean? Because the only way you got to do all that stuff in order to get it. And my friend did it for me and it came back and it wasn't any good. So I'm like, great, got to redo that. So yeah, I'm just trying to wrap up some loose ends, but I'm sorry that you were busy and you weren't in my live after I got monetized because I don't have the sticker thing set up or anything. And it came up like a $19.99 super chat. I was like, what was that? What? I didn't even know what it was. It like scared me. And I was like, man, I would have been happy with $1. Are you kidding me? And it was North Shore, I know him, and really nice woman that I know. She sent it and she goes, oh, Melody, it's set up automatically. So as soon as you get monetized, you can get your super chats. I think it's just a dollar figure, which Brian from Capital Hive said you can go in there and change it to be what amount. So you can either wait till you get to 100, or I guess you can make it less, and then the rest you get paid differently, whether it's AdSense, and then
Yeah.
YouTube. So we'll have to chit chat about that another time. But yeah, so that was like interesting because I was like, what was that? This big
Yeah.
like blue thing came across the screen, and I was like, oh my gosh, was shocked.
Yeah. And I've heard that YouTube takes out the taxes now, and that's what Joy has been saying. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather them take it out because it'll be
Yeah,
easier
but the thing
next
that I'm
year.
filling out isn't for them to take out the taxes. It's for you to file your own taxes. You have to pay taxes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I think it was like an E4 form. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
We all know.
Like an independent contractor.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might have to hit you up. You might have to walk me through how to do my own taxes so I can get this ball rolling.
I don't know. I'll have a tax advisor.
I did too, but an E4, I don't even know what that is. Never saw like an E4 form. So I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, but I'm trying. I keep doing a little bit as I can, but I just, said to my roommate, like, man, I feel like I'm a hamster on a gerbil wheel. I get some things done, and then Jimmy wants to hang out and talk, or, we got to run here or there. And it's like, I stopped that project that I was cleaning the kitchen earlier tonight.
Yep.
Or earlier today, but it was worth it though. Cause like I said, we went out, I think it came to $225, but hopefully it'll be worth it for this to have a new pantry closet in the kitchen.
That's
So
awesome.
stay tuned for that. Yeah. Stay tuned for that video. And Daz's chicken curry is coming up. And I'm also going to be showing you how to make, I don't know what you run out of first in your fridge. I know what I run out of first in my fridge during the holidays. That's sour cream. So I have a recipe on how you can make your own sour cream. So yeah, so stay tuned for, hopefully I can get back into the baking anxiety. I mean, the baking and cooking, because it's giving me anxiety is what I meant to say.
You're going to have baking anxiety because the holidays are coming.
I'm having anxiety because I haven't really been like baking and doing what I would normally do, because there's boxes all over. There's this all over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's produce that could feed half of a world. I don't know, all over. So yeah.
That's awesome.
But I love you, girl. This was great. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all your subscribers.
Well, thank you for being here. I love you. I'm glad you were here, and you're so inspiring. Thank you so much.
So are you. You're such I don't know. You're teaching me about pigs and stuff, Lise. You're going to get me in trouble, man. I'm going to end up with a couple pigs running around the property.
Well, if you watch our latest video, and I don't know, you may have. I'm just saying that if you watch it, you'll see how I walk them all over the place.
Oh, I did. I just haven't commented yet. But yes, I definitely. Yeah, you're going to get me in trouble. I'm not going to want just one. I'm going to want like 3, right? Jimmy's going to be like, hold up now,
Because
we want to do the chickens first. We're going to do the chickens first. So one step at a time. It is turning into a homestead, but this is a new homestead. So got the garden in. Now we just get the little chickadees in.
You're going to love every minute of it. And I'm so proud of you. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great to watch your journey. And thank you so much for being here tonight. We're really honored that you were here.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. You mean the world to me. I think you're just a wonderful woman, and you know that I highly adore you. I love how you're very supportive to the entire community, and you can wing all of it, even going to work. And, I don't know whether to say sorry or congratulations about being done next week. Are we clapping on it? Like, yeah, you're going to be glad to be done work next week, or what? Oh, okay. We're doing games. All right, girl.
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm going to start. I will be backing off a bit, but I will still be doing all our stuff because I'm going to be working on the farm business.
Good. I'm proud of you. I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I want to say this on live, that I absolutely love you. And I'm a huge fan, and you know this. But when you actually get that soap going, can I get 1 free bar, please?
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see all the soap making. It's going to be so exciting.
I can send you my free candle.
Nice.
My first candle that I made.
Oh, it turned out good. What scent
it smells. This one is, I think it's like magnolia.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Oh, look, Lisa, it looks so good. I'd love
I'll send
candles.
it to you. I'm going to be making more candles
I
soon.
got your two mugs. I just got your 2 mugs just the other day when I got the coffee from Boone. I'm like, you know what? I might as well just put all them in the same video.
Absolutely. I think it would be great.
Okay, so I was hoping you weren't offended that I added you into the list of all the other mail calls that I needed to get to, because I'm like, wow, I'm pretty sure Lee sent that out a while ago, and I told her not to send me a second mug, and she did. So, oh, that looks beautiful.
Sherry at Black's Tropical wants to be able to smell. So
I
that's
know.
just from Sherry.
You notice I like leaned forward. I almost felt like I wanted to have like it's a scratch and sniff, and you can smell the candle. But I love you. Thank you for this. This has been awesome.
Thanks,
I had a lot
Melody.
of fun. Had a lot of fun. I hope everyone has a blessed weekend.
And I want to say thank you because it's so late by you, and I just appreciate your time.
No problem. It's 11:37 here,
Well,
and
go
I
get
go
some
live on
rest.
Sunday. So maybe we'll actually see you if you stop being all like a busy worker. But I can't talk. I'm the same way. Just know that I love you no matter what. And,
Likewise.
I think you're amazing, and you're doing a fantastic job on that farm. And I'm super excited for you to expand your farm business.
Well, likewise, my friend. I love you lots. Okay.
All right. Love you. Be blessed.
All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
Bye, everybody. Check out Melody at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. Happy Thanksgiving. And make sure you check out her live.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm so sorry. Happy Thanksgiving in case I don't see you. Mwah.
And make sure you check out her live on Sunday night, which is 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So check it out, everybody. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Melody.
You're welcome. Love you, Lisa. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.